Whatever they tell you, you believe. And I agreed to get married to a stranger. I love the guy. Maybe I was naive, I wasn't thinking clearly, but yeah, we went and got married. A lot of people find that fascinating and they ask me questions like, but how did you know that you guys were meant for each other? How did you know that he was the one? How did you know? How? Like all over. This is exactly what I'm going to talk about today. But first, if you are not yet subscribed to our channel, please go ahead and do subscribe. Don't forget to turn on the post notification bell so that each time we upload a brand new video, you are notified so that you don't miss any video that I post. Without further ado, let's get into the video. Many people have asked me how. Okay, first, let me just tell you, let me just make it clear. I have been married to my husband for 20 years, and a lot of people have asked me how I knew that it was going to work out. The short and simple answer to that question is I had no idea. I didn't know. I was just riding on the hope that hopefully this thing works out. I'm just gonna jump into the pool. I don't know how to swim, but I'm just gonna jump into the pool and hopefully I swim and survive. However, I encourage you to stay with me. Watch this video until the end. I am going to show you what I have done to survive, right? Of course, this thing has not been smooth sailing and it hasn't been without problems, but I have done my part. This is a reason why I'm still here standing today, because I've done my part. So first, I just want to explain reason why I made those decisions at the time that I did make this decision. At the time that I had just met this person, and this was like after 3-4 months of chatting online, and then we finally met in person. At the time that we met, we didn't even say, I don't even know that he knew exactly how he wanted us to proceed, like forward, right? Yeah. But then, like days that followed, you know, he obviously, we spent some time together. He obviously saw me in my natural habitat. Here I am with my family, my friends, spending time with different people. And he obviously saw my interactions with these people that I knew. So around this time, I think that's when he was like, this girl is actually the real deal. We went and visited my parents because my parents lived in a different town from where I lived. And then at that point, he was like, okay, I want us to move forward. So how do we proceed? So if you know one or two things about African culture, there's this thing that we do, like lobola, bride price. And so I explained that to him. I think I had explained to him online, like here in Africa, this is what they do or how we do it. Like when two people are falling in love and they want to spend their life together. He was cool with that. And so we proceeded that way. He went ahead and met my parents. My father was still alive at this time, at this point. We went and met my parents. We traveled to the city where they lived. We went and met them. And they obviously did talk about like everything. And then at that point, he even mentioned to them that, yes, we can go ahead, we can proceed, and I really love your daughter, and I want to spend my life with her. And my parents did not object to that, and they went ahead and, oh, okay, fine. So he went ahead and mentioned to my parents, like, okay, we can get married 6 months down the road, my parents were okay with that. But then it was after we left my parents' house, we went back to my city where I lived. I think the next day or so, he was like, oh, okay. So I changed my mind and I want us to get married. I'm like, okay, it's only been 9 days. And you promised me and my parents, my family, that we are only going to get married 6 months down the road. So why the change of mind? He's like, no, I don't feel comfortable going back to Canada. Without us getting married. I want us to get married now, like before I fly to Canada. I know instead of being like the happiest time of my life, I actually started stressing because here I am now. What am I going to tell my parents? We just left my parents' city, and like, okay, let me just put things into perspective for you. Where my parents lived and where I lived, there was actually, like, by car, you drive like 5, 6 hours to go to my parents' house. So there was actually no way we were going to go back because remember, he is going back like after 2 weeks. So we just had all these things that we wanted to do before he could fly back to Canada. So instead of just driving back and forth from to my parents, like we said, okay, no, we're not gonna do that. But anyways, we visited the relatives that I had in this city, and they were not actually feeling that. It was like, okay, how you've actually known each other for 9 days and already you want to get married to each other? Like, yeah, get a grip, you guys. And then there's also another thing that we do, like to the marriage registrar. What you have to do is you have to tell them ahead of time so that they put your names on the notice board that these two people, yeah, like the woman is single, the man is a bachelor, and yeah, so you have to be on the notice board. That's just the law. This is how they do things, and I think it has really worked for them because there's been some people that have actually been busted, to want to get married for the second time to a different person. And yeah, so anyways, I think that's another, I'm gonna make the video about that also. Yeah, so here we are, and he has to go back the following week or something, and then he wanted us to get married. Okay, so where are we going to get our the time to appear on the notice board, because we don't have that 21 days. But fortunately, they do have this service, another service, which is expedited, where like officially, I'm saying legally, you pay this amount of money, like extra amount of money, and then you can go ahead and get married that way. We decided to go for that, and we paid. They gave us the date, and the following Tuesday we were married because I had agreed to getting married. Now, I haven't talked about what was my rationale for me to rush into getting married. I told you guys that at the beginning, before I met him, I was in a 4-year relationship with this American guy, and this person we actually just met conventionally, like I think we met through work, was a client. Yeah, so we met that way. And then yeah, we dated for 4 years, and I met both his parents because they had traveled from California to Zambia, and we even like did some holidays together. And I met the brother. I met quite a number, almost all his family. I met. He met my family. As a matter of fact, this guy even paid the lobola for me. But then, just to set up the date so that we could get married, I think each time he would get cold feet, and like he was like, "Oh, okay, we'll get married," and he would tell me all the good stuff that I wanted to hear. Okay, I just believe him and forget about it until the next time where I feel like, okay, you know what, dude, you gotta be serious. Why are we not getting married? Why? Yeah, again. So it was like a vicious cycle. So he could tell me all these things that I wanted to hear, and nothing that he did that would show me that he didn't want to get married. So I really think that he just didn't believe in marriage. Not that he didn't love me. He loved me, that's for sure. Okay. And I like to think that I loved him. I liked him. Yeah, but anyways, things went on and on like that, and on like that. And I was like, okay, this is not going nowhere. And as long as I allow it to go on, it will just go like that. And so it's me to put a stop to that. And so this is a process that I started. I gave myself like 6 months. In 6 months, if he does not mention marriage and he doesn't want us to go and, get married, then that's it. I am breaking up. That 6 months rolled around. He had not mentioned about marriage. He was comfortable, all right? He was just comfortable to be where he was. What I'll do is I'll make a separate video and I will explain everything, how my 4 years went, how we got together, how we started, dating, and how we got to a place where I was like, oh, okay, I'm done. So, and then I obviously jumped over to the next relationship, and this is how I got where I am today. And after whatever, he came to see me. After 9 days, he was like, okay, let's get married. I did not have a problem with that because I think, I thought I was in a relationship, 4-year relationship with that person that did not want to move to get married. And I really think that time does not matter, like how much long you date a person. It does not. Well, to me, it didn't matter because, like I said, I was in this relationship with this guy for 4 years, and he obviously didn't want us to get married, or maybe not. Let me not use that term. Yeah, I think he would have wanted to get married, but at the time he didn't feel like he wanted us to move forward to go get married. Okay, so this was actually my rationale. I'm like, okay, if this guy that I've known for this long, we are not yet married. We are not married. And this person, we have known each other for 9 days. He wants us to get married. Well, why not? So I agreed to getting married after 9 days, and we went ahead and got married. Yeah, so that's my story. That's how I married the stranger. Okay, this person was technically a stranger because we have only communicated online. Like I said, 3 months to 4 months, somewhere there. And then when we met in person. We had only met for 9 days. Actually, let me not say 9 days, because the ninth day is when we actually got married. So we had made an appointment with the registrar. I think that was the 7th or the 8th. We had made an appointment with the registrar, and then they booked us. The ninth day is when we actually got married. So I had no problem getting married to this person after 9 days, just because I had already spent some 4 years with this person who was not willing to move forward so that we get married. So to me, it was like time, the length of time that you date a person does not really matter. Well, that's just, let me just put a disclaimer. That's me thinking that way. Of course, some other people would think differently. But then I just had my own experience. And number two, I've heard so many stories from people that are actually closer to me that their significant other, pretended or hid their identity for the long time, for a very long time. And these are the people that made that they made conventionally. So I really think that it's just what you do. Like when you decide to go into that marriage, whether you've been dating for 15 years or 10 years or 5 years or 9 days like I did, if you go into that relationship with the intention, you have to be intentional. All right? When you go into that marriage, you have to be intentional. You want to spend this you want to spend your life with this person. Okay? So you have to do your part. In the Bible, as wives, we are taught what we need to do as wives. So when you are intentional and you go into that marriage with open eyes, you just want to do your part. And this is exactly what I've done in this marriage. Okay? I know what I want. I just don't want a broken marriage. I want my kids to be raised in a stable home where, like, you have both the father and the mother in one place. I think that does good for the children, and this is exactly what I've done. I mentioned that, has it been smooth sailing? Has it been without problems? No, I would be lying to you if I went and told you it has been without problems. That would be a lie, because I don't think there's any marriage that has no problems. So you have to be intentional, where you're like, okay, this is what I want in my life. I want to spend my life with this person, and so I am just going to put up with whatever. I know a lot of women are like, okay, girl, what are you talking about? Why are you putting up with like with whatever a man is doing? But again, if you feel or you think that there's a perfect person out there, you'll be waiting for a very long time. It's up to you whether you believe in God and you're like, okay, who am I wanting to please? Do I want to please my fellow women, my fellow human beings, or do I want to please God? God is pleased when he says, like, we are enduring some issues for the sake of him. So that's exactly what what I've done. And this is a reason why I know, like, there's some really good times that I've experienced throughout my marriage. There's some down times where it's like, okay, please God, help me, get me out of here, and things like that. But at the same time, it's like, let's just say, what doesn't break you makes you strong. And this is what I've done. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching my video. And if you found this video informative, please go ahead and don't forget to subscribe. Turn on that post notification bell so that each time we upload a brand new video, you are notified. Thank you so much. And don't forget to share and comment down below, because I want to hear from you what you have done in your life, whether positive or negative. I just want to hear from you because I love hearing from people. Thank you so much, guys, for watching, and we'll see you in my next video. All right, bye now.